So everybody's well aware that the polls have totally shifted. The vibes have totally shifted. Kamala Harris is leading Trump now, even in Nate Silver's model. Nate Silver had Biden down at like a 20% chance at one point. Now we're at a point where it's like 50-50 or 51-49 in favor of Kamala. So massive, massive sea change in this race. Everybody knows that. Trump knows that. Trump's sounding more and more desperate. But Fox News and a lot of the conservative hosts, man, they might be even more desperate than Trump. I mean, they're A/B testing. They're trying different things to see what lands, what works. How can we take down Kamala's popularity in this moment? And I haven't seen arguments this bad since the, did Obama do a terrorist fist jab with Michelle? A terrorist fist jab? What the fuck? There's that. There's, they actually tried to pretend like it was a scandal when he wore a tan suit. I remember Sean Hannity attacked Obama because of the way he ate his burger. I think he had mustard on it, and he was like, ugh. Like, to be fair, I'm actually not a big fan of mustard on burgers. But the idea that this is like, he leaned into this. Like, this is, like, I'm making a good point here. Like, what do you do? And by the way, there's legitimate stuff to attack Obama over. 90% civilian kill rate on the drone strike. That's a huge thing. They don't care about that because they're fine with that. They actually agree with the warmongering neocons who bomb anybody and everybody. They like that. So they leave that alone. They lean into the dumbest things you've ever heard. So here's Laura Ingraham, again, desperately trying to find attacks against Kamala that work. You are not going to believe where she takes this segment. Listen to this.
Of course, they want to keep her from answering questions because her brilliance about topics like Ukraine, it's just too much for most mortals to digest.
I mean, listen, guys, we're talking about the potential for war in Europe. I mean, let's really take a moment to understand the significance of what we're talking about.
What on earth is wrong with that? Nothing said there was wrong. And I was waiting, when I first watched, I was waiting like, oh, they might be able to find some dumbass shit she said on foreign policy. And then she's like, man, this is war in Europe we're talking about. That's serious. It's like, that's the correct reaction. There's also some other comments she had on Ukraine. Like, you have Russia. It's a bigger country. It's a more powerful country. They invaded their smaller, less powerful neighbor, Ukraine. And they, the right plays out like, idiot. That is way more coherent and way more accurate than anything I've ever heard from Donald Trump on foreign policy. Who are we kidding? This is way more intelligent than shit Trump says all the fucking time. He just praised Xi Jinping for ruling with an iron fist the other day, implying an iron fist is positive. Did Laura Ingraham do a segment on that and say, oh, God, what the fuck? This is authoritarian. This is disgusting. Nope. Totally fine with that. In any one single Trump rally, you could find 17 comments way dumber than this. Nothing she said was wrong here. Okay, but wait, I'm just getting started. We're going to get to the big one here. Ready?
Yeah, that was a bad one. Yeah, now you get it. It's better for her to stay in her sweet spot as the hugger-in-chief. They want us to forget her penchant for making stuff up to make her personal biography more compelling.
Was that literally an attack because she hugs people? Is that what we just saw? Did we just see an attack on Kamala Harris because she hugs people? Look, I can fully understand if you have some old male politician who gets a little too handsy with younger people. Joe Biden. I get that. I get being like, hey man, reel it in, homie. Reel it in. I get that. Andrew Cuomo, when he was all these sexual harassment allegations, he's like, what? I'm Italian. Hey, we do stuff with our hands over here. I get looking at that like, whoa. Nothing there at all was even 1% weird. She just hugged other politicians on the way up to the Guys, they have nothing. They have no idea how to run against Kamala. Zero. None. This is astonishing, bro. The vibe shift is tremendous. Tremendous. And by the way, you want to know an interesting fact? Ever since she became the Democrats' heir apparent, numbers for the third-party candidates collapsed. You had a lot of some intrigue in the third-party candidates when it was Biden, Because, of course, people are like, oh, my God, I literally don't think he can perform the job. What are we doing here? So Chase Oliver, Jill Stein, Cornel West, RFK in particular, those numbers were up there. At one point, RFK was at like fucking 20%. Now he's all the way down to like 5%. But they just had a poll the other day. RFK is down to 2%. And the rest are at 0. The vibe shift has been otherworldly. It really does turn out all of those polls that showed like generic Democrat beats Trump by 6 points. All those polls were spot on. Because it's been only a few weeks that they did the old switcheroo, and now Kamala's leading on Trump in the average of the polls. The average of the polls. Turns out people are like, I don't know, good enough, bro. Good enough. And here's what the right doesn't understand. That if you constantly hurl non-substantive attacks against your political opponents, that will backfire on you. It's not like, hey, we're not gaining any new voters. It's, no, you are now losing voters. Because you look deeply, deeply unserious and pathetic. And people are disgusted by that. So Kamala's best friends are the idiots in right-wing media and Donald Trump himself. Because they don't know how to deal with him. And I should also point out the Tim Walz-inspired attack against the Republicans, the "they're weird" line, has really been fucking landing. Really been landing. And they don't know how to handle it. They handle it by playing reasonable comments she makes about foreign policy and criticizing her for hugging people. Man, if you got to stoop that low to try to make an attack, it's embarrassing how non-substantive you guys are. I could close my eyes and pick any random lefty in the country, and they can give you 4 better lines of attack against Kamala than you guys can. And you guys have a multi-million-dollar industry built on churning out anti-Democrat propaganda, and you still can't crack the code. Wow. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.